Hi everybody, so we're going to go into kind of your digestive tract and your nervous system and how that plays a role in your gut health. So your digestive tract starts with your mouth, goes all the way down, comes out the back. In your mouth we have a bunch of homebrewed antibiotics, which is kind of nice because our mouth inhales so many microbes and so much food and so much gunk that it's our first line of defense. So this is part of our innate immune system. Many pathogens, again, are immediately killed right here in our mouth thanks to our copious amounts and flows of saliva. So then what we do is that's going to travel down the esophagus and then it's going to go to your stomach, where a lot of species are going to die because of your stomach acid. There's only a select group of microbes, so Candida, Helicobacter, and Lactobacillus species that can handle that acidity. Pretty much from the time you start to eat solid food, you develop a core set of bacteria that are going to stay with you for life until you take antibiotics and kill them off, because those are broad spectrum. So that means it's going to kill everything good and bad. And then you kind of have to start over. So that is kind of where, like, in the crypts of your intestines, those little, like, you know, if your like intestinal system is like this, in those little crypts on the insides, that is where sometimes your core set of bacteria are still there. And then they can regrow and come out, and hopefully we'll have that good proper balance of good to bad bacteria where nothing is, you know, taking over, nothing is too much, nothing is too small. It's just that homeostasis. The standard American low fiber diet, coupled with a steady drumbeat of antibiotic treatments, has come close to wiping out certain bacterial species in the Western world. But again, fiber is going to be manna for the microbes living in your large intestine. They squeeze out a surprising amount of useful fuel that can be absorbed by your gut. So that's like a prebiotic. It feeds the bacteria. The probiotic put the bacteria there. The prebiotics feed the bacteria, which is what we want, because otherwise they're going to die off. Moving down your GI tract to your colon, the exercise of your colon means that there's plenty of time and room for the chyme slowly, inch by inch, bubbling and fermenting as it goes. So extra size of your colon, this is the source of flatulence, which is a sign of a properly functioning microbiota. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount of that. Also, otherwise that could be a sign that something is not right in your digestive system. Your colon pampers the bacteria that produce vitamins that humans cannot normally synthesize by ourselves. So bifido, lacto, and propionic bacteria can all produce B vitamins, so B12, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, biotin, and folic acid. A shortage of these vitamins can lead to depression. So here's another major psychobiotic contribution made by these microbes in your large intestine. And that's actually not all. Bacteria like E. coli, which again, we do have all of these bacteria, good and bad, chilling in our bodies at all times. But if they are under wraps by our good bacteria and kept in check, they can actually help produce various forms of vitamin K, which is important in blood clotting. You can also find it in green vegetables, but the bacteria in your gut make the bulk of what you use. Your bacteria naturally produce neurotransmitters in a volume that rivals that produced by prescription drugs. So for example, lacto and bifido, two bacteria genre abundant in your colon, both produce GABA, which is a key neurotransmitter that can have a tranquilizing effect, dialing down anxiety. In your colon, strep and Escherichia, I can never say this one, Escherichia, they both produce serotonin, the happiness neurotransmitter, which again, an important player in mood and provides the guiding rationale for SSRIs, which you get prescribed. Some 90% of the body's serotonin is found in the gut. So it really is what you are eating really helps that mind-body, mind-brain connection. That is also, again, the second brain is your gut, which we mentioned earlier. So accumulating data now indicate that the gut microbiota communicates with the central nervous system, or the CNS, through neural, immune, and endocrine pathways, and thereby influences brain function and behavior. There are three main communication channels between your brain and your gut: the nervous system, your immune system, and your endocrine system. So the circulatory and lymphatic systems also play supporting roles, but the first three, the nervous, immune, and endocrine, are kind of the more dominant ones. So your nervous system relays information to and throughout your brain. It communicates using chemicals called neurotransmitters. The immune system is at the ready to rally a defense response against threats to healthy homeostasis. And the endocrine system monitors and manages growth and metabolism. Its component glands communicate by secreting hormones into your blood and thus sending signals throughout your body. Now, the nervous system has two major divisions. You have your CNS, that central nervous system, composed of your brain and your spine, and the peripheral nervous system, which is less known but just as important. So your peripheral nervous system divides into four parts: your somatic, your sympathetic, your parasympathetic, and your enteric nervous system. To achieve optimal gut-brain health, all four parts are operative in balance and in communication with one another and the central nervous system. So you use the somatic nervous system whenever you voluntarily do anything. So in the context of psychobiotics, the somatic nervous system matters because you maintain voluntary control over what you eat, right? You are choosing that mostly, unless your microbiota potentially are choosing that for you. The sympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system is often nicknamed your fight or flight response. So when that's activated, in other words, all other systems get put on the back burner if you are in fight or flight response. The stresses that activate the system can be external or internal, tension held in muscles or pertinent to psychobiotics, food habits, and trigger continued inflammation in the gut. So if you are chronically stressed, you are in fight or flight. If you were or have experienced any trauma in your life for a long period of time, you may be in fight or flight still and not realize it. So we want to make sure that way back a few months ago, I had those anti-inflammatory foods. We want to be eating those to help kind of calm our nervous system down. If you're someone that's always go, never stop, you may also be in fight or flight. Not something that we want. We need to slow down in order for our bodies to work properly. So the parasympathetic nervous system is feed and breed. So when the parasympathetic nervous system is chugging along, you achieve a state of health, happiness, and balance. That is like when you're sleeping. All of your systems are running, you're calm, your cortisol levels are low. That is the state that we want to be in during the day as well. We only want to end up in fight or flight if we need to, like someone decided to run after us and then our heart rate spikes and all of those other things spikes, and it's temporary, not a constant thing. The enteric nervous system is the one that operates in your gut, again, your second brain. This system, including your microbiota, holds the keys to dismantling any chronic stress responses you may be experiencing and returning your body to a healthy homeostasis, again, that parasympathetic nervous system. All three of these symptoms operate on autopilot, so you typically don't really even think about them. And all of them are very important in figuring out, your chronic inflammation. If you have autoimmunity and things like that, it could be due to your nervous system and having a nervous system disorder that maybe you don't know of, that can help get you out of that high stress environment. And it is very, very important. I cannot stress this enough. As a previously high stress person, it is very exhausting when you come out of that fight or flight response and all you want to do is sleep because your body is finally resting and fixing all of its systems and doing all of the things. So it can be a very exhausting process. If you want to know more information, comment below, all of that fun stuff. But that's just a little bit about the digestive tract and your nervous system in regards to your gut and brain health.